month of Elul and the High Holy Day period has become synonymous with Psalm 27, which we recite twice daily in our prayers from the beginning of the month of Elul right through to Sukkot. The David Hashem Ori V'Yishi, a psalm of David. God is my light and my salvation. And the Midrash points out, Hashem Ori, God is my light on Rosh Hashanah. V'Yishi, He is my salvation on Yom Kippur. The two Yamim Noraim, high holy days. First Hashem shines His light upon us on Rosh Hashanah. We are lifted up and we see His monarchy, His greatness, His kingship. And then on Yom Kippur, Yishi, He is our salvation. He saves us and He grants us atonement. And in Psalm 27, there is a beautiful statement by King David. Achat sha'alti me'et Hashem. One thing I asked of Hashem, ota avakesh. This is what I shall seek. This is what I shall ask. Shivti beveit Hashem, kol yemei chayah. To dwell in the house of Hashem all of the days of my life. Lachzot b'noam Hashem. To see the pleasantness of Hashem, ulevaker v'heichalo, and to visit in His sanctuary. King David was a warrior. He was a king. He was involved with all types of political shenanigans. People tried to betray him. His own father-in-law Saul tried to kill him. His children rebelled against him. He went through incredible tsuras. He lost children. And all of his emotions, of course, come out in the Psalms. And the Radak, David Kimchi, says that in this psalm, King David was saying, you know what, I've been a king, I have power, I have fame, but all of that is worthless. It's not really what I want. My main desire is to dwell in the house of Hashem, to be involved in spirituality, to do mitzvot, and to study Torah. כל ימי חיי, לעזוב בנועם השם, כל ימי חיי, ולבקר, ולבקר, לחלום, כל ימי חיי, שבתי בבית השם, כל ימי חיי, לעזוב בנועם השם, כל ימי חיי, ולבקר, ולבקר, בחולוי, כל ימי חיי. There is a strange inconsistency in these verses, a grammatical inconsistency. Achat sha'alti me'et Hashem. One thing have I asked of Hashem in the past tense. Ota avakesh. That I shall ask for in the future tense. First in the past tense, then in the future tense. Moreover, he goes on to say, what is this desire of mine? Shivti beveit Hashem kol yemei chayai. I want to dwell in the house of Hashem all of the days of my life. Shivti means to dwell, to be a dweller, a permanent resident. And then he continues, Ulachazul b'noam Hashem, to witness and to see the pleasantness of Hashem, ulevaker b'heichalo, and to visit in His sanctuary, just to be a visitor. So he begins off saying that he wants to dwell there as a resident, and then end up as a visitor. Why the change in the two tenses? And why does he change from being a dweller to a visitor? Rav Osher Weiss explains as follows. King David started his life as a shepherd, tending the flocks. And it was then, in his past, in the past, there was one thing that I asked of Hashem, to dwell in his house, to come to places of worship, to come to study Torah. That was in the past. But you know what? Even now in the future, even though that now I'm a great king and I have power and renown, Ota Avakesh, I will still ask in the future that exact same thing. I would drop it in an instant if I could go and I could be involved and I could be part of the study of Hashem's holy Torah. And then we come to the change in the two nouns that he uses. He says on the one hand, Shifti b'veit Hashem kol yemei chayai. I want to dwell in the house of Hashem. Shevet, I want to be a permanent dweller. And then he concludes, Ulevake b'echelo, but I just want to visit. Why does he say that? And Rav Osher Weiss explains so beautifully, and he says as follows. Hashem, I want to dwell in your house. I want to be there every single day. But please don't let a situation occur where it becomes just run-of-the-mill, the same every single day. I get used to it. I never want to get used to it. I don't want to be a person who feels, as it were, comfortable. I want to visit. I want to see newness all of the time. That's what it means. Even though I'm going to be a dweller and I'm going to be there all of the time, but let me see it with new eyes, like a visitor who's come for the very first time, who's reading a piece of the Torah for the very first time. This last year, 5780, many of us have not had the opportunity to Shifti b'veit Hashem, to dwell in the house of Hashem. We haven't had shuls, we haven't had minyanim on Shabbos, we haven't had minyanim on Pesach, on Shavuot. Some of our shuls still closed for Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But what is it that we want to do as Jews? The same thing that King David wanted. We want to go back to our shuls. We want to build our shuls. We want them to be better than ever. We want them to be a place of prayer, a place of study, a place where we can see our friends and socialize them and lift them up and help them out. That's what we want. But we remember what King David said. Shivti b'veit Hashem. Yes, I want to be there all of the time. But I also just want to be a visitor. I want it always to be new and fresh and special. My friends, I bless you that this year, 5781, should be a wonderful year with the pandemic behind us, and that we should return to our shuls, and we should be able to dwell in them as both a permanent resident and as a visitor. God bless, and Ketiva v'chatima tova. May we all be written and sealed in the book of life and goodness.